Ayo review family, keep it high, keep it tight. It's Shay Morris, a review guy, back to bring you another review. Welcome back to Album Review, the series in which I review albums of any kind. And I might have just gotten done listening to my favorite rap album of the year. So, if you guys remember the Kid Cudi and Kanye West collaborative project, Kids See Ghosts, that got released not too long ago, I was a really big fan of that album. From start to finish, I thought that was a very tasteful album, a very experimental album that had a lot going for it. It had a lot of strong choruses behind it, a lot of strong rapping behind it, and I just liked how abstract and avant-garde it was. And if you think about it, Kanye West has been doing that recently. But to be honest, if someone would have said an album is going to outdo Kids See Ghosts, I I don't know who I would have exactly said, but I don't think Denzel Curry would have been at the top of my list. So if you guys haven't read the title yet for whatever reason, we're talking about Taboo by the rapper Denzel Curry. This is his third studio-length album, 43 minutes, 20 seconds, and boy, is this a killer album, guys. Spoiler alert. So, let's just talk about just the general album because I really don't want to spoil too much because I really feel like this is an album you guys got to listen to, and there's so many people saying either one of two things. They're either saying, number one, I'm sorry I slept on this artist, or number two, I can't wait for this album to blow this guy up because I've been listening to him for a while. And to be honest, he's a trap rapper, a cloud rapper, SoundCloud rapper, kind of experimental hip hop, a little bit of psychedelic, a little bit of rap rock in there, and he has released two other full-length studio albums as well as some EPs. And I haven't really been that big of a fan of him in the past, and it for whatever reason I've listened to his music and it just hasn't really appealed to me personally. But boy, Taboo is phenomenal. Like I said, it has really great experimentation throughout the whole thing. I really like the mix on this album. I think that Denzel does a great job of mixing in a lot of different types of vocal techniques to where it's not just him rapping. And to be honest, I draw a lot of parallels between this album and Kids See Ghosts' self-titled album because they both have that kind of built-in, it's hard to explain, but the kind of way it flows through these rockish type sounds, and then they'll be in a psychedelic passage, and then there'll be like chords going on and strange vocal techniques to where it's not boring because you're not just hearing like just straight up rapping. And I have to say, none of these tracks felt out of place to me. And I know this kind of is a concept album because I know that he said that he was in dark places when he wrote the dark ones, and he was in when he was kind of trying to find his happiness is when he wrote the lighter ones. And this really does do something well. It has a lot of different styles throughout, and it has a lot of different emotional feelings to it, but it never feels disjointed. It never comes across as being weak or kind of perversely trying to go above and beyond. It doesn't feel like it goes too far off of the path from the rest of the track listing. I don't think that it goes off track at all, really. And that's a phenomenal and impressive feat when you're talking about an album, number one, that's in a genre as broad and wide as hip-hop that has been touched by pretty much every genre by now, but also a whole conglomerate of a genre that is known for trying to stick to what's known. And when you're experimenting so much, yet you have this album that flows so seamlessly, it really is impressive to me. And a lot of the lyricism on this album is fire. I have to say, the lyricism, like kind of like I said, it ranges from dark stuff to light stuff, and it flows great despite the fact that there is kind of that division line that's formed between the two different types of mindsets that he was in while he was writing this album. But to be honest, I have to also say that my favorite part of the album, above all of the other things, was the beats. Each instrumental felt so unique from the last. Like I said, I draw a lot of comparisons to Kids See Ghost, where you have the psychedelic, you have the rock influence, you have the hip-hop, the experimental hip-hop, some lo-fi stuff, some R&B stuff, and Denzel just sounds great on all of these tracks, whether he's doing strange singing passages, whether he's doing some strange like mixing stuff where he makes his voice sound different. I know he didn't mix it, but well, I know he was the executive, actually, it says. but he had like professional people help. And I have to say the mix, great, the beat, great, the beats, the lyrics, great, the rapping, great, the singing, great. Pretty much everything about this album has like rap album of the year for me written all over it, and I hope this does get him more popularity because, I think it's pretty obvious by now. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. And I want more from this artist. I want to go back and see if now that I've listened to this album, if the rest of his discography has become more desirable for me, because I want to eat up this artist because he's a great rapper and he has a lot of talent backing him, and he's only 23. I want to see what this artist is able to do going forward, and I'm just excited. So anyways, guys, I want to hear what you thought of this album. Post in the comment section below what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out a ton. In the end screen, you can find my previous video as well as another video, and the subscribe button helps me out a lot, so please consider doing that. Share it with your friends, and I'll talk to you guys next time. But until then, my name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.
Oh no. What your mama gonna say when I tell her that I broke no heart? It's just things not the way that they used to be. Oh no, now you crying on the bathroom floor and I guess it's the end. Well, I lost my mind and I lost my